Hello, wastelanders and spacefaring folk, and maybe fantasy adventuring people. I'm Caedo Genesis. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news and have a dedicated Starfield now topic. It's usually Fallout. Now it's Starfield, because that's Starfield. I'm joined by my co-host, BADCompanySarge.
Hello there.
And yeah, that's gonna be the thing. This is gonna be the spoiler episode. I want to mention that from the jump, that this is gonna be the spoiler episode where we talk about spoilery stuff.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Once we get to the main Starfield topic. So if you are here for just skipping ahead to the topic, just be warned. The B-roll is not going to include like major spoilers. It's gonna be just like me running around shooting people in space and scanning planets and going on adventures and stuff. But we are going to be talking about like the faction stuff, the main story stuff, our pros and cons and all that kind of thing. So there's your warning ahead of time. All the timestamps are below. If you're here for news, that I'd find that weird. But the news is going to be, general gaming news crap. But the chapter points are down below regardless. First though, I want to send a shout out to and a thank you to Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose, as well as the rest of my patrons who help keep the channel going. And yeah, I do that in the intro now. Thank you very much. Now for the comment of the cast before we get into news. Sarge, would you please read out the comment?
Yep, the comment is from Jamin P. Rose, who says, "At some point, I plan to scan every planet and moon in every system, but it brings up a question. Do either of you plan to do a challenge run, or a run with a specific goal to complete outside of a main questing system?"
That's on you. That you're the challenge run person out of us, Sarge.
Guy. I mean, I'm doing a Let's Play currently on the channel, where I'm planning on doing like one of the UC Vanguard storylines in conjunction with the main quest line, because that's just kind of a character I've gone for. But I think in terms of challenge runs, I'm going to have a try at maybe not doing an entire challenge run series, but more of like the one-off videos. Because I thought of ways I can do it that I don't absolutely hate. Because I think I've spoken of the podcast before about how I hate things like the "can you beat Fallout New Vegas using only a pistol?" Because it's like,
oh
yes,
my god, I saw one. Can I rant for a second? I saw one yesterday on my recommended or something like that was like, "Can you beat Oblivion as a vampire?" And I'm like, yes, obviously.
Yep.
Dingus.
Yeah, I think we both have the same problem where so many of these are just such obvious answers. If you've played the game like even once, sometimes it's like super dead obvious.
It's infuriating too, because it's still gonna get views regardless of how stupid it sounds.
Yeah, that's the point that annoys me more.
Yeah.
When I'm struggling to get like 1,000 views on a video where I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this, and someone's like, "Can you beat New Vegas by playing it?" 1 million views. Grr.
Yeah. It's doing the easy hook SEO thing too, as we know. It's blatantly presenting a question to a viewer to make them click, which it works. It works.
Yeah, but
You're being manipulated whenever you click on a thumbnail, just so you know.
Yeah, I've basically worked out how I can do something similar to that without completely hating myself. So
I wanted to say too, we're not outside of that. Like there's thumbnails are some level of manipulation.
Yeah, but I feel like you can tell when you really start analysing like how much the person respects both themselves and their audience.
There's humane ways and inhumane ways.
Yeah. It's like, does the thumbnail tell you like what's in the video, or I can't swear on this podcast. Well, let's move on.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I wanted to mention too, Jam P Rose, wait until there's a patch to some of the planets that have life on them and bodies of water but no ocean, because there is a bug with them. If a planet has fish but no oceans, the smaller bodies of water, like in wetlands and stuff like that, aren't deep enough to spawn fish. So like you just won't be able to fully survey those planets until that gets patched, hopefully. One in particular, I'm gonna name it really quick because I was getting just confused as to why I couldn't finish that last bit of the survey on Beta Marie 1. That's a planet with 12 fauna, 8 flora, and 6 resources. It's a lot of fauna, and like enough to tank my frame rate sometimes.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that place has all wetlands for its water and no ocean. So I was looking around for a fish that wouldn't spawn, basically. So I wanted to really quick mention that if you're going to survey all the worlds, it may not be fully possible yet unless you use console commands to spawn them in.
Speaking of updates and patches, Starfield has been given an update, but it's just a very small one.
Yes.
Update 1.7.33.
Yeah. It was on September 26th, and this is more just starter stuff.
Yeah, a bit of performance, a little bit of bug fixing. It feels very much like the folks at Bethesda were like, okay, here's like half a dozen things we can just kind of quickly fix. Let's go do that. Which, I'm down for.
Yeah.
Because I've seen plenty of players be like, oh my god, why isn't this fixed yet? And it's often because it's waiting for like a bigger patch to come out. But small little updates which just fix things which you can see a clear solution to, I'm down with.
Yeah. So, just going, because there's not that many, I'm just going to go through them really quickly.
Yep.
In general improvements, character fixed an issue that could cause some characters to not be in their proper location. That's a good fix. Fixed an issue where star stations would be labeled as a player-owned ship. That was an exploit that was hilarious. Address an issue that allowed for vendors' full inventory to be accessible. The lootable puddles have been patched because players can't help themselves when they find an exploit.
Really
they want to publish it.
God,
and
the whole discourse around that was horrible.
Dude, developers know, dude. Like, they watch stuff. Yeah. They're not in a bubble. I just think it's so hilarious. Yeah, video is like the easiest way to like get something to a developer's eyes, even by accident, if you put it in a like community post. Graphics. AMD resolved an issue that caused star lens flares not to appear correctly in AMD GPUs. Addressed an upscaling issue that would cause textures to become blurry. Resolved an issue that could cause photosensitivity issues when scrolling through the inventory menu. That's important to fix. Thank you very much. Performance and stability. Hand scanner. Address an issue where the hand scanner caused hitching. It kind of... There's a tiny bit of a frame drop still, but not as bad as it was initially. I noticed that one. Various stability and performance improvements to address crashes and freezes. Fix an issue that would cause displayed items to disappear when applied to in-ship mannequins. Interesting. And fix an issue that would cause items stored in razor leaf storage containers and weapon racks to disappear after commandeering another ship. Yeah, so if you use the razor leaf and lost some things, I'm sorry. that one sucks. I'm hoping they address the New Atlantis apartment one as well, because the state of New Atlantis changing based on quests can completely wipe the apartment.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's awful. So I feel like that's probably at the top of their list. I hope it is anyway. But yeah, more to come for sure. There's some broken and not entirely working things in Starfield still. Speaking of different things, CS:GO 2, that's a different thing.
That is indeed a different thing. So the news story here is that Counter-Strike 2 has replaced CS:GO, which was the Counter-Strike game for, I don't know, a few hundred years? It's been going quite a while now.
Several hundred, yeah.
Yeah. So CS:GO is gone.
Yep.
Just... It's not there anymore. It just suddenly doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because there's Counter-Strike 2, which apparently is worse. Yeah!
Yeah!
So a lot of competitive people have been like testing out this game and found that it just... It isn't as good as CS:GO in competitive, which was the whole thing this was why the game had gone on for so long. It worked. It was a competitive game that worked, and people were really into it. And they've got like a new updated version which has replaced it, which looks a bit better, which is good.
I would hope
Make
so.
it prettier.
It's on the Source 2 engine.
Yeah, and apparently it's just not quite as well balanced.
If it's not up to snuff compared to the game they just got rid of, I'm getting some similar vibes to how Overwatch 2 went down.
Yeah, there's a lot of this now where obviously the companies don't want to leave the old game up and just have people still enjoying the old game, which is good. They want to get everyone over to the new one, or else the new one's not going to launch as well. But that comes with some problems when the new one's got a lot of issues, and the old one had been like patched and updated for years, because that's what happens to games now. And you bring out something completely new, and people are like, "Oh my god, this isn't as polished as the thing that's been worked on for a decade." Grah.
I have nothing else to add.
Okay, well, I've played Counter-Strike before. I played a bit of CS:GO. Yeah, that's right. Sarge's elite. I'm not a elite gamer. I gave up on it very quickly. You need to just constantly be drinking energy drink. It's the only way to play it, as far as I can tell.
Like Norman Reedus in Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Drink 4 energy drink. You're good.
I mean, it's also the complete opposite speed of that game.
Don't drink 4 energy drinks, by the way.
I mean, I know lots of people who do.
I don't want to encourage that though. It was for a joke. Something that I thought that was a joke was Netflix coming out with like 3 game adaptation animes. Mm-hmm. One of which has my attention for sure.
Is it the DMC one?
The Devil May Cry one, yes.
Yeah.
Capcom and Netflix announced a Devil May Cry anime, and there's also a Tomb Raider anime series coming. Those trailers dropped at the same time.
Mm-hmm. The Tomb Raider one I feel like I've known about for ages, because it was showing up on Netflix just with one of their placeholder titles. Yeah, it's been there for months. I search anime on Netflix quite a bit to see if there's any anime they've brought back on or come back.
Well, maybe it was. It was a first
ages.
look versus an announcement. Okay, if I read the thumbnails, then it makes more sense. So it was teased basically up until.
I didn't know anything about it other than literally a placeholder which showed nothing and just said Tomb Raider anime, and that was it.
Yeah, but even the Legend of Lara Croft. That's the running title for this. Like, it just shows not much.
I mean, you get to see the animation, which is...
You get to see the animation, you see, like, all the people that are probably dead from the video games. Just seeing that image, if you're familiar with the newer Tomb Raider games that started in, like, 2012 or whatever, you'll know immediately, like where and when this is kind of going to be taking place in Lara's journey. And the Devil May Cry one, I don't know when that one is going to be occurring, because it was just a flash of Dante saying Dante things. I don't remember what he said, and then shooting his guns, and that was it. And then the third thing, there's actually the first 7 minutes of Castlevania Nocturne, which is a Castlevania spin-off. I'm guessing the story of Richter Belmont. Oh. I should have gone back and checked. Baby Richter.
I mean, I know absolutely nothing about all the Castlevania stuff.
I don't know which. I remember Richter being an important character, maybe.
I've heard
Castlevania
of
heads. Castlevania heads in the comments, please correct me on, or school me on how awesome Richter Belmont is and which games.
The one with the whip?
Yeah.
I think he might be the one with the whip.
Is he the one that fights Dracula?
Ooh, quite possibly.
Yeah, quite possible. Is he the one that collects wall chicken?
Almost certainly.
And hearts. Wall chicken and hearts. Very important. It shows how much we know. Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic for this. I still didn't finish the 3rd season of The Witcher.
I did. There was at least one good episode in there.
Oh,
and at
good.
least 2 bad ones.
Okay.
They really just stretched out a couple of the episodes to a incredibly boring degree.
Yeah, don't
Do
know
you want
if
to
I'm
see Siri wander around a desert for 45 minutes?
Nope.
Well, that's a shame.
Is this before or after she can teleport?
That's actually quite a difficult question to answer.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Well,
But, yeah. It's, the latest Witcher season sucks.
yeah, because Starfield's out, like, that's where my time is going to go, probably regardless.
Yeah.
Like, this has become the work.
It is indeed.
And the play at the same time. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
I think it is also a great place to be when fans make cool things like a Digipick simulator. I don't know if you saw this already, Sarge.
I did. It was kind of impossible to miss.
Yep.
I feel like every news outlet reports on it at the same time. So that for one day, all I got was everyone going, "There's a Digipick simulator!"
For those who, haven't seen Starfield at all, which is strange, there is a new lockpicking / hacking system called Digipick in Starfield. But this person made a Digipick simulator that you can play from the itch.io location. BBDev. I think that's their name. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, BBDev. And yeah, you can just run it from the link that is provided by the Polygon article. I'm having such a hard time with
You really
forming
did just
things
fall off in that
to say.
sentence.
Yeah.
This is like a cool little way to test out and trial the whole new lockpicking hacking system. And if you're not particularly good at it, this is a nice way to get better without expending digipicks in the game, which I really like for digipicks in the game. You get a decent number of them, but they're not constantly everywhere all over the place. Like, I feel like they've hit a nice balance, because in the past you'd always have like over 100 bobby pins or lockpicks by the time you hit like level 10 or something, because they were just a ridiculous number.
I would say just wait, because once you find enough sources,
you can get a lot, but if you're doing a lot of the digipicking as well, I've already had a character run out of them.
Oh.
There's enough things to pick that if you're like, actually, I find it's a case of if you're not too worried about it and you don't like invest in the security skill much, and you're not like actively looting everything, then you'll have enough digipicks. It's not something to worry about. But if you're going down like the thief or scavenger kind of route and you go into security and you're constantly trying to break open things, then you will run out of digipicks unless you like purchase or spend extra time getting them.
I think part of it too is I tend to ignore some smaller containers because I know they probably don't have much worthwhile in them. Or like if I've been to an abandoned location enough times, like I know behind this door is nothing useful and I just ignore it. Locked door, that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, it's good for practice too, like you were saying, because some of them are tricky. It's a system to get used to for sure. It's not like picking up lockpicking from Skyrim or Fallout 3. Like those were super simple to pick up on, but this one's got a bit more to it.
Yeah, I much prefer this system.
I think it's okay.
It's like an actual puzzle that you can solve and isn't just you kind of, okay, I know that the lock's somewhere around there, let's now break lockpicks until I hit the right point. This is like, if you just sit down, spend some time, look at it, and count them up, then you can solve it. And I like that. I like that I actually use my brain rather than just trial and error.
Sometimes I want to just break into things.
I mean, you've got the auto slots for that.
You do, but you have to succeed, as far as I understand. You have to succeed in a bunch of lockpicking in order to have those charges. So
yeah, just do like the novice ones, and then auto slot the complicated ones.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I've been doing it. But anyway, this is detracting from the like. We'll be able to argue about this during the topic too, I'm sure.
Okay.
But something that also makes me argumentative.
Oh dear.
Cyberpunk. as you all know at this point, if you listen here normally, its 2.0 update happened. Added a bunch of changes, including some iconics, and just a lot of features that were assumed in the 1.0 of the game when the game first came out, but just were broken or not working or non-existent or only cutscenes. Now a lot of them are in the game. New police system, vehicle combat AI enhancements, like making the character smarter. Like this was some like fundamental change that they've been doing for Cyberpunk 2077. And from what I hear from people that I know, Dakoba included, a lot, and Eric, like a lot of these are very positive changes, and even like reworking the whole skill system too. Armor is attached to your cyberware now, so like any outfit you feel like wearing, you can just wear. It doesn't add to your armor or anything like that.
I kind of like that.
I do too. It makes a lot more sense.
That's something I've been finding in Starfield, which you can talk about later. But it does seem to be a whole thing.
/agree. Balance and economy stuff. Lots of UI changes. I've already seen some of them, and some of it does look, better than it used to. Surprising amount of quest fixes on top of it. And so 2.0 is the 1.0 that we deserved. If I can shorten it down to, what we kind of, a lot of us expected when we saw all the promo material and marketing bullcrap from CD Projekt Red, 2.0 is what the game should have been at launch.
Still doesn't seem to be any talk of wall running.
Nope. Sorry, Sarge.
Great.
But you can vault off of a motorcycle.
Yeah, the whole vehicle combat's good, especially seeing as that was something in early trailers which people were excited about.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I've not gone back to Cyberpunk. There's been a real problem with like tons of stuff getting updated or released around like the past month or couple of months, and why? I had a year. Had a year of just needing stuff to do and having nothing.
It's this year in general, and also in particular, like a lot of the big stuff is releasing around fall time, which is kind of normal, I think.
I mean, I feel like stuff normally releases a little bit later as well, but I feel like a lot of people have released a little bit earlier. Because I feel like
I guess you're right.
Mid to late fall.
Yeah,
like you're getting into winter.
Like, Bethesda's releases are usually in November, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'd say Bethesda's on the slightly later side normally, and this time they've gone slightly earlier. And it seems like a lot of other developers have gone slightly earlier, and I'm not sure what it's about. Like, I'm not even sure what's
the Baldur's Gate 3 devs
Christmas.
went earlier because it was everybody else's fault for releasing around this time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot of big stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest game of the year has been half released as well.
Which what?
The new Elder Scrolls game.
Oh, that was a segue. Sorry, I ruined that. Yes, Sarge, the biggest Elder Scrolls game nobody knows about. There's our clickbait.
Ooh.
There's how we manipulate people to click on.
What are you talking about? Nobody knowing about? It's got over 1,000 downloads. So, you'll know how you were being like, we need a new Elder Scrolls game. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Yeah. Well, your wish has been granted, and you've been given the Elder Scrolls game you deserve. The Elder Scrolls Castles is kind of now out. Ish.
Yep.
So, I think if you're in America and have an Android phone, you might be able to play this.
It says this app is available for my device.
Caedo is able to play this. I am not. I'm in the UK. It does not exist over here as of yet, it seems.
Let me just look. Let me just look really quick. I'm gonna install it right now on my phone.
Okay.
I have to
Let's see.
search for it, don't I? Elder Scrolls?
It'll be quite difficult to find, apparently, as well. I've heard the main way to get to it. Where is it? You can only find it by visiting Bethesda's page within the store.
There's
apparently.
Blades.
Yeah, you need to go, like, to the page, the Bethesda, like, page in the store in order to find it, apparently. It's, like, really, really well hidden. And there's been no announcement.
I found it. I just had to type
Hey.
castles.
Oh, okay.
The early access program is currently full. Okay.
Ooh.
So you have to apply for early access, I guess.
Blast.
I tried. I tried to get early access to the Elder Scrolls Castles. What is this, Sarge? What is this game?
It's kind of like Fallout Shelter, but Elder Scrolls. There's been no word from Bethesda about this. Like, despite the fact that we'll have links here, it's on the Google store under Bethesda Softworks LLC. The same people who have made Fallout Shelter and Mighty Doom and Elder Scrolls Blades and all of that stuff.
And Starfield Watch.
Starfield Watch, yep. I'm still not, like, entirely sold on it existing. Like, on the screen grabs, the only thing that really point it out as Elder Scrolls is that you've got, like, the Empire thing on the septim, the coin, up in the top left. But even that's cut off in a way that nothing else is.
Yeah.
When
There
you look
are
at it closely. Like,
some character models that vaguely look like
Very
Elder Scrolls
vaguely.
races, but on the other hand, the Argonian could be a Dragonborn or a Kobold.
the Argonian looks like a dragon person. It's not like cat people are unique to the Elder Scrolls.
No.
It's clearly just a green human. Like,
Yep.
orcs are not a big deal. Like, and I see no names. Nothing. Like, the armor and weapons don't even look particularly Elder Scrolls-like. They're very generic fantasy, as is all the clothing. There's names like Tobin, Melora, like, these do not scream Elder Scrolls. King Yofar, that's a thing. It looks kind of Fallout Shelter-esque, very much built in the same way.
That's it. That's really about it. It just looks like a generic fantasy shelter ripoff.
Yeah, we discussed, like, a little bit before we started recording as well, that Fallout Shelter actually looks like a Fallout-style thing, because Vault Boy and all of that, you've got, like, that iconic kind of imagery, you can work with that kind of art style. It feels like it belongs
And
in
the premise
overall
makes
world of it.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing about Fallout Shelter and why it works, because you're building a vault. It's the thing that's in the game.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Whereas in the Elder Scrolls, you never build a castle in, like, the games. At most, you build, like, a big house. And I think even in, like, ESO and stuff, you don't have a castle that I'm aware of. Like, I've seen plenty of player homes, and none of them are, like, a full castle.
Yeah.
Because that'd be crazy if everyone in the game had a castle. Like,
I mean,
there is...
like, you can take over a faction, I guess, and get their HQ, but it's still not... It's not full-on building one. It's just
No. And
decorating
this as
it.
well says build your dynasty. This feels like it would have a huge impact on lore and stuff doing it this way. Fallout Shelter also works because, like, oh, okay, there's this one vault somewhere which people don't know about. That would make sense. That's not a big deal. You can't have, like, an entire realm that just isn't connected to Tamriel in any other way, and just be like, oh yeah, that works, that makes total sense. Like, no, that's crazy.
This looks like a game that the Vault Dwellers in Fallout Shelter would be playing.
Yes.
This is how mobile it looks.
Yeah.
And generic. It doesn't look good. It, like, if they switch this around to be like the universe of Grognak the Barbarian, like, perfect. Well, I don't know if they would play it. I'm assuming too much, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
like it would do better.
Blades wasn't, like, played that much, I don't want to say. I feel like that kind of fell under the way, but at least it was very Elder Scrolls.
Blades had the freemium problem.
Yeah. It also was very limited, I remember, on, like, how you could play it at first. Like now, it's able for me to install it on my device, on my computer. In the past, though, it was just like on certain mobile devices, I want to say, when it first launched, and then came to all mobile devices, and then much later came to computer, and like, I feel like that didn't help it in any way. Because it meant there was very little coverage on it, on a game that already wouldn't have got a ton of coverage. But I'm looking at images of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's an elven helmet. Oh yeah, but that's the steel soldier armor. I recognize that. Like, but Elder Scrolls Castles, literally, the only thing in all of this I recommend, or I recognize, is the gold coin. And even then, it doesn't look quite right.
And it's so small on the screen, too.
Yep.
And even the dragon, like, Skyrim that made dragons most synonymous with the Elder Scrolls. I think the only red-ish dragon was the named one, right?
I can't even remember a red dragon.
It's the one you fly to the dragon portal place.
He's not red.
He's not red?
I'm pretty sure he's just like a dark brown, maybe? He's definitely not the same red as this. Like, if he is red, it's got to be a very muted one.
I want to say Durnavir, but that's the undead one, right?
Durnavir. Let's check. Yeah, undead dragon.
We've been playing
Durnavir.
Starfield too long. We just forgot everything Skyrim related for a short time.
Skyrim dragon you fly on. Odaving. Odaving, who is, it doesn't look, he looks kind of the standard brown,
He's a
grey.
maroon color.
Okay, he's got a bit of a red tint to him.
But that's the closest to a red dragon in Skyrim.
Yeah.
And the one on the mobile ass combat thing,
Bright red.
bright red.
I fully do not remember him looking red, like, at all. This is like me looking at a dragon I've never seen before, is the way I'm viewing this.
Yeah.
But I think depending on the lighting as well, he often like seems a lot more brown or black even.
And Party
'Cause
Snacks
it's a
is
very dark red.
orange-ish, isn't he?
See,
Or is he greenish?
Alduin's black.
See, I don't even know. Alduin's the black
Of
dragon.
that. Yeah.
And most of the other... Well, no, because there's the legendary dragons and stuff like that. They have different colors.
Yeah, Parthenax. Yeah, the lighting changes it a lot as well.
We're
'Cause
getting
I've got,
way
like,
into like the
Yeah.
color of dragons probably more than we need to.
whichever way it is, none of them look like this dragon. That's the ultimate point. This is not a Skyrim dragon, really.
Yeah,
This
revered
is-
dragon was red, orange, purple, whatever.
Yeah, this is all generic. Just
Yeah.
absolutely generic fantasy stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to add more ammunition to the whole this. There's probably a reason they didn't announce this because it looks like crap.
Yeah, like, I've seen nothing from Bethesda. I've checked their website. It's not mentioned as any game they've made or anything like that. I find no links to them other than from the page where you can, like, install this game. Like, I didn't believe this was real for quite a while. I spent a lot of this morning just checking and being like, does this actually exist? And it does, and it's under the Bethesda Softworks things. It says from Bethesda Game Studios. I'm still not entirely sure this is actually real and just
It
not.
kind of
knockoff.
looks legit, but I don't know, dude. It's
Part
yeah.
of me's like, is this just a knockoff and someone's like hacked the system in like a very 90s way and has managed to put this game up? Because this is
It's quite possible.
I kind of wish I could install it on my computer, because then I can make a whole Elder Scrolls video just to annoy all the people who are annoyed at me for not playing Skyrim for another 10
Skyrim
years.
on your phone?
Yeah.
I've already come up with the title.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That one's free.
thanks. There's a new Elder Scrolls game, and it exists.
I mean, we said a lot about it, but that's the most we can probably legitimately say about it, is that it
Yeah.
exists. You can draw your own conclusions.
Should Caedo and I become Elder Scrolls Castles channels? let us know. I'm sure there'll be some people who would much prefer that.
Vote on the poll in the card in the upper right-hand corner.
Can you still? You can't do polls and cards anymore, can you?
I don't know if we can do those.
I'm pretty sure they got rid of that ages ago, which sucks because I always liked it.
Yeah, I think cards are just kind of on their way out anyway because it sends you to the bottom of the description now.
Oh, that's annoying.
Like it doesn't even pop out. Yeah, it's more mobile crap that I don't utilize.
Fun.
Yay.
Alright, well, that was the news.
Yeah, it was.
Stuff has happened. There's been other stuff as well, but we just haven't bothered talking about.
Yeah, it's mainly that too. Like I could have brought up the Sony CEO stepping down thing, or Sony president stepping down thing, and I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Another CEO is moving somewhere else. Let's talk about something we do care and know about, Sarge.
Hey.
That's Starfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah! Starfield! How many hours have you played now, Caedo?
It's hard to tell because I switched from Game Pass to Steam.
Can you still check the Game Pass numbers? I'm guessing you refunded it on there.
I mean, I definitely couldn't at that point. I was mainly trying to bypass the save limit, which I did manage to do, but it was a way that wasn't intentional probably, and it's that I surpassed the save limit so hard that it doesn't prompt me anymore. Because I imported them from Game Pass to Steam.
Well, I have 160 hours.
What does it say on
Game Pass? It's under achievements. You then need to click on see all achievements and it will tell you time played. There might be an easier way to find it, but I don't know about that.
Frick. Oh man.
I've also not got that many achievements. I'm at 360 out of 1,000 gamer score, and I feel like I've done a lot of stuff in the game.
Okay, so on the Xbox or the Game Pass version, I have 5 days, 13 hours, 27 minutes. I wish it said hours.
Yeah, wait. What did you say it was?
5 days, 13 hours, 27 minutes.
That's 133 and some minutes.
So, and Steam says 187, so I'm over 320 hours or something like that.
Oh my god. Caedo,
what?
You literally have double my number of hours played.
I eat, sleep, and breathe Starfield. That's how it has been. Even though I've had some other real life stuff happening where I've had to go to the doctor's office and stuff like that still managed to fit in the ridiculous amount of hours I put into Starfield. Because otherwise, outside of the shopping and going to appointments and stuff like that, I don't do anything else. I just play Starfield. I do the essential things and then play Starfield, which is now essential too.
I think in my defense I can say that I've spent quite a bit of time editing lately.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I also have.
Yes. I've had a couple of days recently where I literally have not been able to play Starfield because I've just edited.
Well, I don't know if that's fair for me to say though. Anyway, because you have we've established 3 times the videos I do.
Yeah, we took a look at this before the podcast started.
Because I've made 4. I made the tips and tricks, the beginner's guide for Outposts, which were the biggest ones for me to make, that is, and then the magazine's guides, 2 different ones.
Yeah, and I have 12 public proper videos about Starfield. Technically I've made 14 videos about Starfield, but the first couple were just quick updates on my situation of being able to play it / not being able to play it.
Yeah.
What I've done is 1, 2, 3 character builds, 3 Let's Play episodes, 2 tips and tricks videos, a couple of guides, a review, and Starfield and Negativity Bias.
Nice.
Which was a discussion piece. I've been making so much content.
I've been really thinking about doing a discussion piece on the rarity, legendary, random enchantment, whatever system.
Do it and have me guess, because I said I wasn't going to post more negative stuff on the channel for a while, and I need to vent about it.
You can make that a loophole. Let's do.
Yep.
I'll let you know if I think of something, because like, I need to start making like listy stuff, and I'm having a hard time motivating myself to do that because they're lists.
Yeah, I put out just the other day a list, tips and tricks style video thing, and it was very much rushed. Have you watched it yet, Caedo?
The second tips and tricks thing?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Man, you didn't sound half as concerned when you said hi to me as you should have. That's a weird video.
Why?
Like 4 minutes in or something, I just beg for subscribers, and on screen I point out that I wrote some music for the video, and this was my 2 days of editing. I kind of lost the plot during it.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because it's kind of normal for me, because I edit fair. So much. I edit my videos so hard sometimes that, like, the Outpost one in particular, like, I could have kept adding information. Like, I had that much ready that I could have just kept going with it. I had to stop at some point and split it up into potentially multiple videos with specific topics related to, or specific subtopics related to Outposts, because you can't just do it all in once. It's mentally exhausting.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, spoiler discussions are mentally exhausting for some people.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about spoilers. Leave now if you don't want the game spoiled in any way.
Yeah, this is the final warning, because we're going to start talking about the things that happen in the main story that are cool.
Yeah.
And
you know what? Can I start by saying, but I'm a bit annoyed that I got the end of the game spoiled for me.
Oh, Sarge, you got the end of the game spoiled?
I did, but in a way that it's not really fair for me to be annoyed about it in general terms.
Oh.
So, Caedo, you've beat the game, right?
Yes.
Constellation and all
yes.
that. Yeah, cool. If you haven't beat the game yet, leave. I know we just said it was your final warning, but genuinely I'm about to spoil it all for you. So at the end of the game, when you've dealt with the Starborn and everything, you've learned there's a whole like reset of time in a different universe sort of thing that happens at the end. That's like the end of the game, and you then start New Game Plus and all of that. The spoiler which made me work everything out was a line of dialogue from Barrett that I'd already heard, where he talks about the Starborn, which I'd already seen, and someone just mentioning New Game Plus in the title of an article. And from those, I pieced out, or I worked together, oh, okay, so the end of the game is you're going to reset to the start in a different alternate reality. It's unfair for me to be annoyed that I worked that out.
But I mean, that was my guess as I was going on, or going into the game, about midway through, and also absorbing some of the stuff that were, supposedly spoiler free, but then, if you do that thing where you scroll down, look at the comments a little bit, then somebody says Unity, and you're just like, well, frickin' god dang it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like that word in particular, like once characters start bringing it up, and if somebody says Unity and New Game Plus in the same sentence, then you're just like, well, that explains the ending to the game to me. God dang it.
Okay, I'm glad you. Well, not glad, but it's good to know I'm not the only one who. Yeah, got this. I'm a bit annoyed it took so little for me, because I was doing real good at dodging spoilers. I still haven't watched like your Outpost guide. Genuinely, the only Starfield video I've watched that isn't one of my own is your tips and tricks video.
Yeah.
That is it. I need to watch your Outpost guide, because I need to get back to that Outpost character.
Yeah.
But I also need to accept that I can start looking at Starfield stuff now, because I don't really care if anything's spoiled for me at this point. Like, I've done enough of that. I should be able to learn things and not be a big deal.
Did you get that rifle from the Aquila guard guy? No.
You actually mentioned to me to do a certain quest, and I've been around Aquila City and not found the quest.
It's like the first left you can take when you go into the gate. There's this lady arguing with the I can't say sheriff or deputy because the freaking Freestar Rangers work there too.
Yeah.
Like head of security or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
She's trying to
missed
put
that.
sensors up around the wall for like weird tectonic readings, and he's just like, no, it'll attract things or whatever. He's afraid of science. So, but that quest line will give you one of the best rifles or sniper rifles I found in the game.
Oh, nice. I've not really done a ton of sniping when I've been playing.
What?
Because the cutter's overpowered, dude.
It,
The cutter is so overpowered.
I'll have to take your word for it, because I have just been gobbling up all of the superpower. Also, God, I can't finish a sentence. This playthrough, I got a god roll. It's not the Peacemaker. It's the pump shotgun.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
I think it's Peacekeeper.
No, Peacekeeper is
Peacekeeper's the name of one of them. Is it the Bang Bang, the Shotty, the older shotgun? There's a lot of shotgun names.
It's not an older... There is a lot of shotguns.
Yeah.
Let me find it really quick.
Okay.
And there's one that's called Shoddy, which made everything confusing.
The most annoying thing for me lately has been the fact there's a weapon called Big Bang, which totally sounds like it should just be the name of a unique, but it's just a standard weapon, which, yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah. God, I didn't write down what kind of shotgun it was. Gah, my spreadsheet is so wrong. Anyway, this thing came with lacerate, concussive, and something else that made it just absolutely busted, and something that felt like it was ripped right from New Vegas.
Is it the pacifier?
No, it's not a named weapon. It's a roll. It's a random roll.
I thought the pacifier was a base model.
Oh, yes, pacifier shotgun.
Okay, that's another thing with a naming convention. I can say to Caedo, here's the basic name, and you're like, no, that's a unique, because it sounds like it.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, brute force is a pacifier shotgun.
Brute force. Wait, I've got that on my most recent character.
Yep. Run the red mile
Brute
once.
force. Yeah, which is super easy.
Or run it twice if you're working with the Rangers, because the first one doesn't count.
Oh.
For the reward. I hope that gets fixed sometime. But yeah, most broken pacifier shotgun I've gotten, or shotgun in general that I've gotten in the game. And I learned that lacerate and flechet mod stack.
Yeah.
So now I'm just running around bleed killing and knocking them over. Like knocking them over and they bleed out. Everything. And it's so overpowered. I can kill anything. Nothing is immune to the knockdown so far.
I do hate that getting a random roll is the way to be really good at the game.
Yeah.
Which is half the reason as well that I'm using the cutter, because that's like a guaranteed location, but I've worked out how to make it really, really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I can handle this. But then, I think, like, a level 3 or something on a character, I went to Neon for the first time and found, like, it was a legendary Maelstrom, which shouldn't be that good, but it was, like, it had the 1-inch punch, which made it, like, an automatic shotgun, and also had, like, some of the damage over time effect, or stagger, or something like that as well, and it was just like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah, 1-inch punch seems really rare, or I'm just getting really unlucky when it comes to that roll. Because I think I've seen it maybe once on a weapon that it just wasn't good on.
I've had it like 3 or 4 times. Like, not a ridiculous amount, but a decent bit.
I guess that's more of the RNG why it sucks part.
Let's complain about the RNG for a bit.
Let's complain about that. That's a fun thing.
We hate it. Just... why can't we just have, like, nice uniques? It'd be great. Why does this have to be, like, the looter-shooter model? That's worse than, like, looter-shooters as well.
Yeah.
Like, Borderlands does it right. You go kill this enemy, you get a variant drop of a unique. That's acceptable. In this game, it's like, oh, hey, we're just gonna give you a unique, which is worse than everything else you find in a chest. Because why not?
The majority of them are too. The boom boom is really good entry level shoddy, because it's just explosive shoddy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like beelining to the what's the Tommy gun in Fallout 4 that everybody says to get?
Spray and pray.
Spray and pray. Same principle. It's just boom boom explosive. I win.
Yeah.
And that one's really easy to get. You go to the weapon vendor in Neon.
Yeah.
Like, but something that because of the new game plus nature of the game, you lose all your stuff. All of your loot, all of your outposts. Basically, the only thing you take with you is your character and their build, and probably the benefits from magazines, because those are permanent buffs. That's pretty much it. But one thing that I haven't checked yet is if the quote uniques that are sold actually roll higher level.
Yeah. I've already had people in the comments being like, oh hey, you should wait until level 20 before getting the gear that you want, so that it's at the higher tier, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've not done like full testing on it. Because that's something I didn't like back in like the days of Skyrim and stuff so much. Where if you wanted to like do the Thieves Guild of the Nightingale, it was better to grind for like 40 levels to get the best gear or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't like the loot system of this game, and I feel like Bethesda's been getting worse at its loot system over time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the problem with I mean, it started with Fallout 4, the problem of consistency, and it's only gotten worse. Not just for legendary drops either.
I feel like we had tiny bits of it in Skyrim as well, but in Skyrim it was like a almost nothing issue, because there were just like a few items here and there where it was a problem. And then Fallout 4 just magnified it to a greater degree. 76 magnified it to a greater degree. Starfield magnified it to a greater degree. It's just been exponentially getting worse.
Yeah. When I eventually decide to do a unique something, I know like the inconsistencies that are there in Starfield now. Like, there are things that have names and skins, which, in my mind, that qualifies as a unique. When you can't remove those skins, that is.
Yeah.
Like the Deadeye, for example. Like, it's a really ornate-looking Razorback revolver.
Yep. With no added effects.
With no added effects.
Yay.
just tons of mods, and it looks fancy.
Boy, do I want to use this gun.
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to be covering, because it's the closest thing to a Ranger Sequoia that I'll be able to talk about. To appease the Ranger Sequoia fans.
Hell, you know what? I would have been okay if like rare and epics still existed like they do in the game. Just keep them exactly the same. But then the legendary tier were actual unique items, and they had free set effects. That way you don't get the overpowered things like your shotgun, which is just like an instant kill them all because it happened to roll the right effects. You can balance those free, and it still leaves room for epics to kind of go to a bit of an overpowered place if you get like lacerate and concussive just happen to show up in the same way. But it makes uniques more desirable because they have all three effects.
Wow.
And in general, they'll stand out above the randomized loot, but there's still a chance for the randomized loot to be better.
Did you just solve loot, Sarge?
I've thought about this. I have so many different ways to make it good where you keep a certain amount but change it, and Bethesda's just like, random. And the part I hate most of all is so many people love it. So many people love the idea of just having basically a loot box in the game. Like, not a monetization one, just what weapon will you get today sort of one.
It's generally one of those loot drop systems that is seen in all kinds of games that just ended up finding itself in this one.
Yeah. It hurts story and narrative, though.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. It's 100% my biggest complaint with this game. And without it, every other minor issue I have would be nothing for Starfield. But it's the one issue I have which just screws me over again and again and again. I said it was before we were recording that oh, you can do more of the negative stuff. I've talked about being positive and stuff, and I'm now the one just going on a full rant.
You are. It's because we started talking about legendaries.
I hate it.
Or random rarity drop effect bullcrap that cuz we can't just call it legendary now too, which makes it more confusing to be a topic.
Mm-hmm. It's rare, epic, and things.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a much minor complaint, but components being common, uncommon, exotic, rare, unique. But unique I find it unique in multiple places, and I'm just convinced that I need to send every single Bethesda employee the dictionary definition of unique.
You haven't seen the worst of it.
Oh no.
There's a section in the help menu that says unique. It starts with unique. It says unique equipment or unique encounters or something like that. The elite enemies with multiple health bars, they're called unique.
I am tweeting out right now the definition of unique, and I'm going to tag multiple Bethesdas.
Let me double check and make sure I'm not misquoting myself here. I'm gonna boot up the game really quick just to make sure that I'm right on that. I will read it out loud for everybody else.
Yep.
So that because nobody really, unless you're me, you probably don't use the help menu at all. You're probably just blind to it when you hit escape or hit pause or whatever in the main menu or in the game menu. Oh jeez, I have to go to my save too. God freaking dang it. It's only when you're in gameplay, apparently.
I'd really like just to read the definition for unique quickly from Oxford Languages. Just quickly typed it in. I'm sure there's other definitions out there. But it's being the only one of its kind, unlike anything else. Yeah.
Gaming has ruined the definition.
Yeah.
It's not just Bethesda problem. I am absolutely certain that it's just a general gaming problem. Because they needed to find fancy words. Ah, yes. Okay, so I found the entry. At the bottom of the help menu, it says unique items and enemies. Unique items are powerful pieces of loot that can be dropped by killing unique enemies and creatures. Unique enemies are more powerful foes that have more health and better equipment if applicable. Unique human enemies can drop rare, epic, and legendary items, which will have 1, 2, or 3 stars respectively. When you pick up a unique item, its star count will be displayed next to its name. You can also view an item's star count while viewing it in your inventory. An item's star count denotes how many effects an item will have, with rare items having 1 effect, epic items having 2, and legendary items having 3. Nobody proofread this, by the way, because they're saying the exact same thing in the paragraph. Effects can add many types of benefits, such as increasing your carrying capacity or adding poison damage to a gun. Unique weapons and equipment can also be found in containers around the world, so be on the lookout. On the other hand, unique creatures can drop rare performance-enhancing consumables and crafting materials, such as alien genetic material, which can be used in high-end crafting recipes. Unique creatures will never drop unique weapons or equipment. I hope somebody's in the comments counting how many times the word unique was misused, because it's all of them.
Yep. They just don't know what unique means. I've tweeted it now. I've tagged Bethesda, Bethesda Studios, Bethesda UK. I'm just I want someone to see this.
I wanna tweet Dane Olds back with my disappointment with just that as the screenshot, and I'm like, this is what the definition of unique is now, and I'm disappointed. Because if that's because in-house, if everybody's on the same page as that is the term, that is how unique is being used, like it has lost all possible traditional value or traditional definition to like what it means.
It's just not.
Nope.
It's just the wrong word.
Yeah. It's just...
If they replaced the word gun with fish in Starfield, it would be crazy and out of place. But because unique is a term that's just been... Can I say this word? Caedo, you might have to cut this.
Okay.
That's been bastardized throughout, like, gaming history recently. Was that okay? I said gaming. I know it's a bit edgy, but...
yeah, it's fine, Sarge.
Yeah, because that's happened, it's just kind of flies over people's heads, and most people don't care about it. And here's the thing, I know Caedo and I are super in the minority with caring about this, and especially with caring about it as much as we do.
Yep.
Because while there's some of you who back us up on this, most people do not care.
Yeah. I think part of the problem is too, Sarge, is that we enable each other super hard on it. With me, it feels like it's just justifying me more and emboldening me in complaining about it more. I don't know if you feel the same way, but...
I mean, I know why I don't like it. If this was just me being like, oh, this is bad because I think it's bad, then I'd see more of a problem there. Yeah. But I've made videos discussing like the actual issues that arise from this, the lack of narrative incentive you get, how it imbalances the reward cycle of the game and just leads to like the constant loop rather than a specific goal. Like, there are so many different problems that this creates that I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. And this, because of unique just becoming with this definition kind of synonymous with just slightly above average, or
it means probably
generic.
Good.
Probably
you get
good.
Some probably good stuff. Might be useful. There we go.
That doesn't look good on a guide title though either. Here's where to find all the probably good gear in Starfield. Yeah. Well, now that that's out of our system.
Yep.
We talked about that for a while. Let's talk about the main story. How did you like it, and who died for you?
I really quite liked the main story. I think it's probably my favourite Bethesda main story, which I guess isn't saying that much because their games aren't renowned for the main story being the best part.
True.
But this is one which I genuinely did enjoy, because it's basically the first half is, hey, meet all the Constellation people and discover that there's powers you can get. And the second half is, hey, we're going to kill one of them and then let you decide the fate of this universe.
Yep.
Or at least the fate of your place in this universe.
Yeah, it starts ramping up, like, after that, like, midpoint, like, it starts ramping up pretty hard, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
because it wasn't, it also didn't feel like, I don't know. I felt like it was a different kind of urgency. Like I could go either way with it. Like once you hit that point of the game.
Yeah. It doesn't do the standard, oh, the world's gonna end because Alduin's flying around. You're fishing for 20 hours. Why are you fishing for 20 hours?
Yeah.
It lets you take it at your own place.
Somehow it just felt right.
It's more
allowing
of a
you to
personal
problem.
Like, you're not stopping the world from happening. This is stuff that's happening to you and your immediate friendship group. So it really is on you to decide the timer for everything, which I love. And it makes it a more personal story, which I wish more writers got, that a personal story matters more than a big story. Like, the world ending is not important. Your friend dying is.
Yep.
That's just how people work.
And the impact can be slightly different too, because this could be somebody you were already romancing, and suddenly they just get killed off, and you're just like,
did you lose Sam?
I didn't lose Sam.
Okay.
I didn't. Is he one of them? Can any of the four die?
I lost Barrett. Who did you lose?
I lost Barrett as well.
Okay. I
know it's
figure...
Barrett. I know it's Barrett and Sarah at least are the ones that die.
See, when I was playing through it, it implied Barrett or Sam as the ones that
Really?
would die. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm
so
not
it might be the main
certain
four.
about it, but yeah, that would make sense.
That's
Like,
really
if
cool.
one of those four could
That's
die.
dude.
I'm guessing
Man, if
that
Sam
changes...
dies and Cora survives, oh god, that would.
Yeah. I'm guessing that changes who the hunter is as well.
Yes,
Oh,
no
and
doubt.
fun thing, the hunter is right at the very kind of start of the game when you first go into New Atlantis.
Yeah,
Which is just lovely.
I've
just
seen
chilling
I've seen
at
him
the coffee
spawn
shop.
in. He just jumps out of the bushes and walks into the bar.
I literally walked into the coffee shop and was just like chatting with him. Just had a completely normal conversation. It was great, and I was like, oh, I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah. No, the hunter is the Sanctum Universum guy, right?
I thought that I thought the diplomatic one was the Sanctum Universum guy.
No,
Might
the
be.
diplomatic one was whoever your friend that died was.
Oh, in my mind I had it the other way around.
At least I. Now you're making me question.
I'm doing a quick Google to see if. Okay, no, it says the hunter, is Keeper Aquilus. Okay.
Yeah.
It says that on the thing. Yeah, I've just got them kind of mixed up.
Which that one felt like a bit of a weird choice for me. Like Keeper Aquilus being the hunter, because that one didn't feel like a big reveal. You're just like, okay, that's the guy who was teaching me about the philosophy matching up between the religions and stuff like that. I don't know. There wasn't much impact for me on that one, but
No, I mean, if it was that on its own, I would have been annoyed. But the fact you get like the person who died as the other one, kind of as a, I feel like that's the punch. And the other thing is just like, oh, here's another person who also exists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they exist outside of their universe, kind of thing, which goes in a crazy fun direction when it comes to going to multiple universes and stuff like that, and they're two sides. Is it called the diplomat? The one the one in the white armor?
The diplomat sounds right. I've literally just closed the article.
The
I was
hunter
reading about it. Apparently, the
and
player character is being called the Spacefarer.
the emissary. Sorry,
The emissary.
the hunter and the emissary. Yeah. So the emissary wants what is the I can't remember what the emissary wanted.
The emissary is more like peace and helping and talking to you.
Yeah, but when it comes to the artifacts themselves, the hunter wants all of the powers to themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas the emissary wants to keep the hunter away and kind of brotherhood it, right?
Yeah.
And like keep it away from everybody. And First Contact dictated that it was going to be a hostile way no matter what. And I thought that was extra motivation, because like when a grown-up tells you not to do something, you're probably going to try to do it. That's definitely what it felt like with the Starborn. So I was obviously I'm going to go get more powers.
I mean, first off, I tried to be nice to them, but the second time I went back, I was like, I'm going to blow up their ship. You can't blow up the initial ship. Which is annoying. Because I like, dominated them in space combat. Obviously, everyone's like, oh my god, that ship looks so powerful, and I was like, bang, 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 bang. And just got it to almost destroy it, and then it just grav jumps away no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying.
Yeah. So, who did you decide to fight at the end then?
I went against both of them.
So did I. Do we just play the same game, Sarge?
I think so.
We
made the same choices in the story, really.
Yeah, I just chose to turn my back on both of them and go for the Unity on my own, and started a new world on my boxing character, who is definitely underpowered in every sense of the word. So then I started a new playthrough after I had the guardianship as well as the really cool armor you start New Game Plus in.
Yeah, the Starborn Guardian armor? No, the Starborn spacesuit Astra, Materia, Locus, Tenebris, or Solus, depending on how many times you've gone through the Unity.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Look at me checking these stuff.
New game plus 10 or whatever.
How many times? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know the powers
Yeah,
stop at 10.
On like your 6th playthrough.
I think 6 is the maximum like armor bonus.
Yeah, you go through 6 times, and you get a slightly better ship and armor set each time.
Yeah.
Which is,
I think that turning a plot into a mechanic in that way was like probably the best way that Bethesda could introduce New Game Plus to their games.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to do it. That being said, I played about 10 minutes of New Game Plus, and then was like, I want to start a new character. Because I'm a build guy. I like making new characters.
It's gonna vary depending on what kind of player you are, for sure.
If you're someone who likes to just stick with one character, then New Game Plus is the best thing, because you can just make your character stronger and stronger and stronger, and you can try out like missions and quests in different ways, making different decisions and so on. And you can even do like one go through where you just be completely horrible. The next one you can be completely nice. It's a good thing to have in the game, even if I don't appreciate it that much.
Yeah. Also, there are like narrative changes that happen depending on which New Game Plus you're in, which is amazing. There are changes to like constellation too. Like they say different things and do different things and act differently, depending on which New Game Plus it is. Out of the 6, I believe. As well as I learned that the kid stuff trait, you have one line of dialogue that's completely different when you meet your parents for a second time in New Game Plus.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're like, what? Well, you're still our kid. And I'm like, all right. Because they're just like, you hit your head or something when you were mining for Argos? Like, it's just parent stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, what else is there to say about spoilery stuff? Should we talk about the factions?
Yeah, I was going to say, faction-wise, there's a few fun things. Because probably my favorite quest line
out of the 3 you've done,
my favorite quest line will be with the United Colonies stuff. And if I keep it that vague, I don't have to choose between the one with the Terramorphs or the one with the Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
The Crimson Fleet one. Oh god. Yeah, go on.
I was actually going to agree that those quests just go so much bigger than the other 2 factions. I can say that at least. That the UC Vanguard as well as the Crimson Fleet quest chain that involves the UC or the Crimson Fleet depending at the end anyway. Those ones just feel like they go bigger than the Freestar Ranger and Ryujin Industries, but I think the Freestar Ranger and Ryujin Industries are meant to be like more subdued by design, because Aquila City is a cowboy town where you're out in the frontiers and doing stuff and giving wasteland justice to the ne'er-do-wells and
I'll say one thing I really like about both Freestar and UC, kind of how they both start, or both are meant to start, so to speak, is kind of with here's what we're all about. With the Freestar one, you're sent to lots of different Freestar places just throughout it to kind of get the vibe of all of them. And with the UC one, you literally get the propaganda tour at the beginning, which is great. I love it. So I like that both of them very much give you a feel of what they're like. I think that was well done.
Ryujin Industries, you apply for a job.
Yep.
at a kiosk,
Yeah.
like some sort of person trying to work at a grocery store.
Yeah. There's a few jobs you could apply for on Neon.
Quite a few, yeah. Actually,
it's great.
it's pretty funny.
I'm a chemist at is it Xenofresh? Yeah, I'm a Xenofresh chemist.
Oh yeah,
most
me too.
of my playthroughs. That's fun.
Yep.
I always get the perfect bonus. I know exactly what ingredients to pick up.
I just took them all because I used them for my own chems.
Oh, see, that's the thing. I have wondered whether it's better to take them all, because I think if you take them all, you get like 300 credits or something.
I think it was like 200 or 300.
200. Okay, because you get.
I wasn't even keeping track because I was over 100,000 credits at that point.
It probably depends on level as well, because a lot of the rewards are level based in terms of credits.
And that makes it hard to calculate too.
Yeah, right at the start I was getting like 900 for perfect results, where you just take the stuff that's needed out of there and then craft it, which is a good way to just get like 2,700 credits in like a minute.
I mean,
it doesn't take long.
Yeah, so that's a substantial amount of money then if you do all three. 900 for all three?
900 per.
900 per.
So 2,700.
Oh yeah, that's
just
good.
the job you're doing outside of also delivering via shipment, which is what you're actually there for the big money.
Yeah.
So it's not bad.
And
if you're not doing much crafting, it is worth actually picking up the 2H1S 1CO 1B as I write it down. Pretty sure Chambers oil, sealant, benzine, helium, maybe. Could be that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's like a fun little side activity. But I am completely derailing us off of the big main quest.
Yeah,
there's fun side quests in the game as well.
There
a lot
are.
of the
yes.
side quests are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall we talk a bit about 3-star Rangers? Because that's the one which we can just kind of chill talk about and not worry too much.
Yeah.
And then do the big ones.
Well, if you have any dealings with Sam Coe whatsoever, if you're following the main story, he's the one that introduces you to Aquila in general, because he's a descendant of Solomon, the founder of the city. So he's got a lot of little fun interplay going on with just the leadership in Aquila City. But introducing yourself to the people of Aquila City, like they all kind of point you towards the 3-star Rangers, and either through dialogue or from their quests. Like you're gonna deal with the 3-star Rangers at some point, probably.
Yep. They love just being like, "Hey, have you been to the Rock? Maybe you should go to the Rock. You should check out the Rock. Maybe go inside and just be a ranger already."
Yeah. So then you can apply to be a ranger deputy, and then have a what's the word? A mentor? Not mentor. I mean that one fits too. Anyway, you follow somebody around and stop crime.
Yeah. There's a bit of a mystery you go through with it, but to solve the mystery, you basically go around and shoot the bad guys.
Yeah, a lot of the time. You can also talk a lot of them down.
Yeah.
I learned.
And then shoot them in the back of the head after.
Also learned that there's a really gnarly bug towards the end of the 3-star Rangers quest.
Oh.
I think it's the ship you fight before you go. Ooh, it was Sam Coe's companion quest that had that bug in it.
Ah, I see.
That's where it. Okay, yep. My bad. My mistake. Towards the end of his companion quest is a wrongly flagged ecliptic ship, and all the people on it are considered good NPCs. So
see, I
hope
didn't
that
have
gets
that
patched.
problem again. I had it very nice where I did the 3-star Ranger thing, and then it immediately tied into, or it even went somewhat parallel with Sam's companion quest.
Nice.
I managed to have them both going at the same time, which meant I became a 3-star Ranger, and Sam was like, "You're the best person ever."
Which is good.
Cool.
It's a good feeling. It's a good thing to have Elias Tufexis tell you. Is you're the best ranger ever.
Yeah.
You're the ranger of my heart, or something like that.
I mean, I went with the friendship option with him.
I'm gonna romance
also
everyone in this playthrough. I'm
I
gonna
did-
see how far I can get with dating all 4 of them and or marrying them.
Oh, there'll be some stuff that comes up about that.
Nice.
There is some kind of interaction with that I'm aware of already. But I won't go into it. I'll let you experience it yourself.
Like, right now I have a throuple with Barrett and Sarah. They don't care at all.
Yeah.
which I found very entertaining. And then as soon as I probably add Andrasia, I'm guessing once I add Andrasia, like everything's gonna go wrong.
Oh yeah, she specifically brings up when you talk about romance to her how she wants just like a one-on-one relationship.
Oh no!
Yeah,
She's
so
one
I'm
for
curious how
monogamy.
it's gonna
Oh
play
frick! Oh dang it! All right.
She's also like the worst person to romance. Like I've done the romance with her. She's the only person I actually stuck with a romance. I did the friendship option with Sam, then chose romance, then chose friendship, because you can just back in and out of it. And then I loaded the quick save because I was like, I can't do that. That is just emotional abuse.
You're just playing
right there.
games with Sam.
Yeah.
He's already lived that life.
It was literally like, Sam, we're the best of friends. Back out of conversation. Sam, I love you so much. Oh my god, I love you too. Actually, I think we're better off as friends. Just... You can just go back and forth. The game lets you, and it's horrible.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's by far the cruelest thing they've ever let you do in a Bethesda game.
Doesn't this quest cover about how messed up it is that his baby mama is not present for a lot of stuff and jerks him around and makes bad promises?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of relationship problem with him, and I just made it worse. Because
that's funny.
In my defense, I didn't do it to be evil. I was testing to see if there were like follower perks, which I've not found.
Yeah, I don't think there are, and that sucks.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, that's why I was doing it. Just to be clear,
I've had it playing back in my head that there's a lot of steps backward in Starfield that are just kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Like the lack of companion perks, for one.
Which is a real shame. I mean, especially seeing as you've only got, like, 4 companions so you can get to that, like, top rank. And the fact it comes up and even says, like, oh, Sam Coe is now your ally, or something like that. And all it means is the bonus experience when you sleep.
Yeah.
Which is, like, fine.
Yep.
But anyway, back onto the quest thingies. Who cares about 3-star rangers? It's whatever. The UC ones. First off, the Vanguard, where you're dealing with the Terramorphs.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of different sci-fi stuff in the whole quest.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You get... I was about to say, should we go into spoilers? This is specifically the spoiler point.
It's about spoilers.
You get cloning, you get mutation, you get, like, the whole Xeno warfare and mech warfare expanded upon. You get like conspiracies and stuff. It's great fun. They really hit a lot of stuff. And while some of it you see like coming from a mile away, like, oh my god, the attack happened at just the right time. And then like 5 hours later, people are like, now that I think about it, it's suspicious. And I was like, yeah, of course it was suspicious. We're talking about how this unprecedented Terramorph attack could happen again, and it immediately happens.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence.
And then, it wasn't difficult for me to kind of piece together, because like once they said Vey Victus is alive and in the basement, I was just like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. We've left this war criminal alive and are doing what he says. I wonder if anything could be going wrong.
Yep. I will mention though that the companion that you get, what's her name?
I can't remember her name.
Major Hadrian Sanon.
There we go.
She's awesome. She has a really cool little background that you get eased into, and is living with the sin of war criming, essentially. Or because she and the other the Dr. Percival were the leadership of the Xenowarfare project during the Colony War. And how it goes into that, and how much she wants to right that wrong is really cool. Just a general like character development moment that it's cool to be there for kind of thing.
I also really like the fact that she's actually like a good follower. Like, she's got useful skills by the looks of it.
Yes. Energy weapon dissipation, nice, pain tolerance, and xenosociology.
Yeah, just solid seeming stuff. I want to complain very briefly about
she's on my
the fact
spreadsheet.
The fact that Sam Coe has rifle certification and will not shut up about wanting to be given a pistol.
Oh.
That bugs me. I gave him a minigun, so, but...
You mean a micro gun, because it's got to be a sci-fi weapon, Sarge.
No. No, I gave him, like, the minigun, micro gun that you get in the Xeno Warfare thing. I also gave him the Xeno Warfare outfit, which is another thing that's a great unique with random legendary effects, which sucks.
Is.
But, yeah, that's a really cool looking suit and stuff.
Don't think that one actually has random effects, by the way. What?
Is it actually set effects? I assumed it would be random because, the other 99%
the anti-Xeno,
of the
game. It comes with Beast Hunter, Analyzer, Incendiary on the helmet, Beast Hunter, Automatic, and Sentinel on the spacesuit, and Sturdy, Fastened, and Armor Plated on the skip pack.
Oh my god, we actually have one unique set of apparel.
Actual unique set. I checked it twice on my characters because I could go there and do it really quick. Sorry. I did it with the same character and went back to a previous save just to get the area to load in differently. And it was the same. And then both Rosie and Maxine also confirmed that it was the same. So
nice. That's good. That's better than the Mantis set.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Better than the Mantis set.
For no reason.
Just freaking keep opening the case until you get what you want. Silly.
But the twist with Terramorphs is my favourite thing as well. Should we say what the twist is with Terramorphs? I keep going back and forth on this spoiler thing. We literally told people to leave.
We told people it's going to be spoilers. Okay, yeah. So Terramorphs are heat leeches that have not fully matured. That is amazing.
Because you see heat leeches everywhere. They are just so populous, and it's very quick to be like, oh, I'm not going to bother shooting that. It's just a heat leech. Who cares?
Yeah.
And even when you're at the facility where you realise this, there's heat leeches everywhere, and you're just like, oh, it's more heat leeches. Who cares? They become such a boring part of the background. They're like xenogrubs, where you're just like, yeah, that's just a creature that's here. It's a nice bit of world building. Who cares? And everyone needs to care because they're Terramorphs, which are like the most dangerous thing in the entire universe. No, watch
the Xenogrubs just turn into Starborn.
Oh god! I mean, as soon as I said like, "Oh, we're just like the Xenogrubs," I was thinking, is there going to be like a DLC where Xenogrubs suddenly turn into
Shattered Space? They turn into Varun Zealots.
Yep.
Or something. Because I mean, people think they're not human anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
That's the lore, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's a brilliant just recontextualization of this thing, and it meant that on my next character when I was doing a playthrough, and like right at the start, you come across heat leeches.
Yeah.
In like the
they make sure you see at least one.
Yeah. People talk about heat leeches all the time. It's just like generic dialogue where people are like, "Oh, there was a big old heat leech stuck in my ship."
That was like that was. Here, an example. That was a Frank Horgan moment. I finally get to talk about how cool it is to build something up and then you finally encounter them. Like that's what the Terramorph or the heat leech turning into a Terramorph thing was. Like it was, people around, people like working at the shipyards and stuff like that talking about, you got to check the ships for heat leeches and stuff like that. Dang old darn little whippersnappers getting on the ships and going to different places, which explains everything.
Yeah, the fact that you could in theory work it out if you took one leap of logic is also brilliant.
Yeah,
because heat leeches make it everywhere, and we talk about how Terramorphs show up like a few decades after humans, or however long the time period is. And yeah, all the pieces are there, but there's nothing to really get you to put them together until you do this quest.
Yeah.
Because you do have to take that one leap. Which, it is brilliant. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yep.
And it's why it makes it difficult for me to decide whether or not I prefer that quest line to the Crimson Fleet one. Because I love the Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
So good.
I do love that they leaned really hard in the pirate theming of the Crimson Fleet. I don't. I'm gonna guess that you probably noticed, Sarge, but like a lot of the quests that you're involved in, either like titles hint at it, or just how characters are acting, or just the places you go to, the activities you take part in, are all very like classically piratey things to do.
Yeah.
Like even breaking into the space cruise thing.
Yes.
Like you're infiltrating a ship, a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's and stealing some valuables from it. Like it's so cool.
Yeah. The Crimson Fleet are just so badass. I love them so much.
Delgado is after pirate treasure.
Yes. It's after a mystical pirate treasure which a lot of people don't believe exists.
Yeah.
Which was left by like the original pirate.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much like a fantasy pirate quest that's just been put in space.
Yeah,
and it's brilliant.
It's awesome. It is so
but
cool.
A lot of people react like they would as the sci-fi characters they are, rather than going along with Delgado's fantasy for a long time, which I like as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like everyone's gone insane and thinks they are old pirate or whatever. It's literally like, oh, Delgado's kind of crazy, must be the thing that's going on. And then you realise, oh no, he's not crazy. He's just using like fancy terms and stuff, and it turns out there's a more rational thing that's going on here.
Yeah. Also,
It's great.
he's the most dressed like a pirate too. Like he's got a
yeah.
scarf and like,
The scarf is just doing wonders.
it's just great. He looks great.
Who did you side with in the end? That's the big question.
I tried both, but I ended up ultimately siding with the Crimson Fleet.
Okay. So I've also done it twice, and I had to betray them both times.
Oh.
It was because of the type of characters I was playing. Like, initially, it was just a case of my first playthrough, and I didn't want to get, like, bounties and stuff at the end, and I was trying to do the constellation stuff still, but I was needing to get through all the Crimson Fleet stuff just so I could kind of finish the game and be the good guy first time through. And the second time I went through it was because I needed to do it with a specific type of character who was, like, a good UC-aligned character. But I've started another character who's 100% siding with the Crimson Fleet because I feel so bad about betraying them. Like, you genuinely have to go up and talk to Delgado at the end.
Yep.
And justify that you've lied and cheated, and these people, like, accepted you, and you were just like, no.
Yeah.
And it hurts, especially when you don't want to be siding with the UC.
And that's by design too. Like it's intentional design, because UC Sysdef, they're kind of boring. Their leaders and the people that you interact with when you're working for them, pretty gosh dang boring, generic military type trying to stop the bad guys.
Yeah, it very much exemplifies the UC, who are like good, but very clean cut and regimented, and bureaucratic and stuff, and yeah.
Even though you're technically an agent of the UC, you get to enjoy all the piratey things in the majority of the Crimson Fleet quest, and then you go back to the UC, you're just like, all right, I'll betray him, I guess.
Yeah.
But you've built those relationships with all of the Crimson Fleet, and barely gotten to know the people in UC Sysdef. I think that's like the main thing is UC Sysdef doesn't have really any character power behind it, whereas the Crimson Fleet does.
There's like 3 named characters with Sysdef. There's Commander Ikonde? Like
Ikonde sounds right. Yeah,
Kibwe Ikonde. There's Lieutenant Toft, who you give evidence to and eventually will let you upgrade your ship and stuff. And there's Alex Vong, who's a fighter pilot, who does nothing. Genuinely, he just kind of stands there and has a few lines of dialogue, and that's like it. That's all you get.
Wait, is he the one that
Sistef.
walks you from the elevator?
Nope.
No.
You walk past him.
I may
the
not have
person
just.
who walks you. You might not have encountered him.
I may have just not talked to him because I was already bored by the time I got into the Vigilance.
Oh yeah.
The coolest part about UC SysDev is their ship.
Yes, by far. But yeah, with the Crimson Fleet, you've obviously got Delgado, who's this super charismatic, like, top guy. You've got Mathis, who is a pirate you meet on the first go, and who I'm pretty sure you can make into a follower.
Yes.
Depending on the choices.
He can become a
which is,
crewmate.
like, really cool. Yeah, I love that. Or, if you make different choices, he'll ambush you and try and kill you.
Yep. I've done both.
Which is great. Yeah. He's, like, clearly a very treasonous kind of person who's just in it for himself, but there's a certain charm to that as well once you see, like, both sides of it and how it plays out. You've got Neva, who's basically a psychopath.
Yeah, pretty much.
But cares about the fleet and, like, nothing else. You've got
she does care about Jasmine.
Jasmine, that's it, yeah, Jazz. Yeah. Who's the ship technician, who genuinely seems like the nicest person in the entire fleet.
By far.
Just a very good person. You've got the Doctor. There's the Doctor as well, who's clearly like a decent person as well.
Oh, well, kinda. Kinda.
On vague standards, I'd say. Yeah.
Doctor of pirates.
Yeah. He's still helping people.
Yep.
But yeah, you've got like all of the merchants have a bit of characteristic to them. Oh, it's such a better cast of characters to deal with. Oh, and Voss, the guy with the bomb in his chest.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
Their quartermaster / accountant.
He's just there, and it's like, yeah, what's up? I got a bomb in my chest.
Yeah, and he's proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's just brilliant. These are great characters. And you have to kill / betray them if you side with the boring faction.
Yep. Yeah. And so that makes me glad that the UC Vigilance, the UC Vanguard, wow, I can confuse those easily. The UC Vanguard quest line exists, because that's where the fun working for UC happens.
Yes,
whereas
you're gonna meet cool characters and the like.
Exactly, and where the Crimson Fleet is very much a lot of time was spent in like making personalities with the Crimson Fleet more so than the UC.
Yeah. Which I think was a smart choice. Like, no matter which faction you side with, there are at least some interesting characters. Which is good.
Yeah. But I think that, I don't know, we could almost... No, we can't make that comparison. It doesn't feel like the Civil War quest at all.
Oh, no. No, the Civil War quest.
Because you do a lot more work for the Crimson Fleet than either way, you're doing a lot of work for the Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
Either under one banner or the other, you're still doing their quests. But yeah.
One mild complaint I will say is I'd like to be able to do start a Crimson Fleet in a different way. Because the most pirate heavy way or thing you can do is just get a bounty and then agree to work for UC SysDev.
I think that there are 3 ways.
I don't know about the third one. Okay, this might be a good thing.
Yeah, I think it was one of the videos that Fudge Muppet put out, one of their numerous things I wish I knew, and the numbers getting smaller each time. I'm gonna give him some guff for that, because that's silly. I think you can get arrested and then just do your time in Cydonia, and you'll get approached by an informant to join the Crimson Fleet. I would have to look at it again, but there is a third way where you can just join with the Crimson Fleet by being a criminal.
Okay.
Without being taken onto the UC Vigilance and Ikonde being like, hey, work for us. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to do some testing of that. So my most recent pirate character is having to do the whole undercover thing. Because that's the only way I knew of how to join the Crimson Fleet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's the UC Systef, or sorry, not UC Systef, the Vanguard quest that splits off into continuing with the Vanguard stuff or meeting up with Ikande. And you can do either one or both.
Yeah.
There's the getting caught with contraband, which also puts you on the UC vigilance. And Ikande's like, you gotta work for us. But yeah, yes, third way. There is a third way. I just don't fully remember it, but I thought it was cool.
Okay. Have to look into that at some point.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and it'd be good for your builds too.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I don't...
I feel like we've probably talked about enough. We've had a lot of, like, tangents and stuff in here.
There's been a lot of tangents.
Because we've clearly got a lot of things to talk about with Starfield.
I feel like I had, like, extra tangents. I don't like that you have to have just a generic crew member as your companion to do questionable things without them judging you.
See, that's why I like Mathis.
Yeah.
And having those options. I think that's quite good.
But he's still a crew member. Like, he has various things to say depending on where you land, which is cool. But beyond that, he doesn't really say much. He's not nearly as interactive as the four mains.
Yeah, it does suck that all four Constellation peoples are goody two-shoes.
All four Constellation people.
Especially seeing as Andrasia is, like, clearly not a goody two-shoes.
She's supposed to be in the gray area.
Yeah, but
like,
she
her
is
whole
just
personality
100%.
just says, hey, I'm in the gray area. You watch her just kill somebody in cold blood when you first see her.
Yeah, and then anytime you're, like, rude, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe you do that. Oh, you're so evil. Yeah.
We talked about this. It was him or me. I had a gun, he had money, it was me.
Yeah. It would have been nice if Constellation had, like, just more different personality types more than anything. Because all the members are, like, they've got their own characteristics and they are unique in their own way.
Yes.
But
yeah,
they do all kind of want you to do the same thing. Hell, I did all of the United Colonies stuff with Sam Coe as well. And despite him being a freestyle person, he was on board with like 99% of the UC stuff too.
Oh wow!
Like he has a few fun lines there, which are good to see.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's like he doesn't like get really annoyed or anything. He's just kind of like, well, if you really want to join the Vanguard, I guess you can. And that's about as much pushback as he gives.
Yeah. Well, I know he's also probably a bit more chill and open-minded, which is part of the reason why he's not with his wife anymore, probably. About like getting along with the UC and stuff like that, because he also works for Constellation, so
yeah,
you know, and they're in New Atlantis.
Yeah,
that dynamic is really cool too. Like the remnants of the Colony War. I need to mention that the remnants of the Colony War and how much bad blood is between the Freestar Collective and the UC. It's everywhere, and it very much helps develop the world quite a bit more.
This might be a tangent onto what we've been doing and stuff, because I'm going to say that I actually want to make lore videos for Starfield.
Whoa.
Which is not something I've properly done before. But I feel like for a lot of people who are like, oh my god, Skyrim was so much better, they're thinking about a series in which they already knew all the background stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with like Fallout. And I think one thing that's stopping people from enjoying Starfield as much as they want to is that they haven't had like the really well-made storyteller videos or stuff, which explains lore to you.
That could be a problem with how Starfield kind of works against Bethesda games in general, kind of work against themselves in that sense too. Is there's with the Vanguard, they shovel so much like lore and background into your brain just to prepare you for what the Vanguard quest is going to be. by doing that like job application. Oh, you get to walk through the presentation hallway where you see all the history and stuff.
You can just run through the hallway,
You can,
which is quite fun.
you can, which is nice. But that gives a whole bunch of context as to what you're going to be dealing with and what has happened, and sets the stage to like how the UC and the Freestar Collective are getting along. But that only is spoon-fed directly into your brain if you do the Vanguard quest. I did feel like almost all of the other stuff before joining the UC Vanguard. So I had to get little bits and pieces and attitudes from NPCs to kind of piece it together myself. So I mean, that in itself means that, you know, there could be a lot of value in lore type videos talked about stuff. I found the Six Sisters mining HQ before we started this recording. I immediately thought Camelwork should do like an Elder Scrolls detective kind of thing on that place, because there's 5 body bags that are filled on the roof.
Oh
yeah.
Oh dear.
It's got a story and I want to learn it.
I feel like with lore in Bethesda games, for a lot of people out there, you learn a bit while you're playing, but the real deep dives comes from the kind of YouTube community. And because this is a brand new IP and doesn't have all the established stuff where people were making videos and already knew about the stuff that happened in Oblivion and Morrowind and Daggerfall and all of that, a lot of people are coming into this and not knowing what the world is like. And it's a stumbling block. So,
and it's not just the lore that's not established. It's a lot of the locations and effects of things too. I am aggressively learning as I go. Like, God, I hate these speedily put together and then dropped guides too that various journalisty gamery websites decide to do, because they're forever unfinished as far as I can tell, and a lot of them have just wrong information. And that's part of the reason why I've been taking my time. Because I want to do it right. I don't want to go back and be like, oh, I got this wrong and this wrong, I gotta redo the whole thing.
I did a last minute edit on my most recent video where I had a tip where I'd been told and tested before and it worked, where if you register your ship not with a technician but just like on your own, it's cheaper than with a technician. And then I went to get footage for it and it was the same price, and I couldn't find a ship where it was different price, and I figured maybe it is at times, but I couldn't be certain anymore, so I just had to like rewrite and do a completely different
That
tip.
one's weird because it's a minuscule amount too. Unless you have invested into the commerce skill or something like that, like then you can start getting actual money out of it.
It's also highly dependent, or most dependent, I'd say, on how valuable the ship is.
For sure.
Early on, you're only making like $1,000 profit after registering.
If it's
super high value ships,
if it's 5% of 20K, then you're still not. You're not getting much out of the deal.
No, later on, when you get ships in the hundreds of thousands, that's when you can actually make a good profit.
Yeah, we're on the same page. I was just speaking on the opposite.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, you threw me off for a second.
I didn't mean to, Sarge. I didn't mean to. We're saying the same thing, but the reverse.
Okay. Yes.
So does that mean we're done with the thing?
We've been recording for a couple of hours. I feel like we've clearly got a lot to say about Starfield.
We do.
And if anyone has like a specific topic you want us to talk about, please do suggest, because I feel like we're probably going to need to narrow our topics down in the future, because we were tangenting all over the place. This felt like the most directionless topic I think we've done. Yeah.
Mainly because, well, I know why for me, because I've been injecting my brain with so much Starfield for several days, many days straight, that like it's all I think about, and I'm thinking about random things at random times.
Oh yeah,
all the
we
time.
very much just kind of got a smorgasbord of Starfield knowledge in our brains right now, and it's not hyper focused in the same way where, like, for Elder Scrolls and Fallout, we can get, like, very granular about a topic. Right now, we're just skimming the entire surface.
Yeah,
of
and if you combine that, like, trying to internalize that information with a really bad memory, which I have, that's why I keep a spreadsheet of just so many freaking notes, because I have such a hard time organizing it. My speaking, off the cuff is very different from how I do guides, because those are organized. My thoughts are not. Make that a shirt. Immersion. So you wanted to probably promote your little Patreon thing that you're deciding to do, right?
Yeah. So I have 32... Oh no, it'll be 31 now. 31 scheduled Patreon posts.
Where?
Which is what I spent yesterday doing. There's basically every single day in October. If you go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/BADCompanySarge, there will be a new Starfield wallpaper you can download for mobile phone or for computer. It's at 4 different resolutions. You don't need to be a patron subscriber or anything for them. You literally can just go there and it's public to everyone. Each day there's a new photo. And I decided to do that. I was like, you know what, this will get more people showing on the Patreon page. It'll be like something where I'm consistently doing a Starfield thing over time. I'm curious about how it will go. And I stupidly picked a month with 31 days. Could have saved this for February or something. I spent like several hours yesterday just making all the wallpapers, but it's done. And yeah, every single day in October, if you go to my Patreon page, there'll be a brand new set of wallpapers.
Nice.
Or brand new wallpaper per day. And there's also a set of wallpapers which has already come out exclusively for patrons.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think there's actually like 37 stuff, 36, 37, like mid-30s is the number of Starfield wallpapers I've made.
Awesome.
It's a lot.
I know you're really good at making those wallpapers too, Sarge. So
some of them do look really good. Like, some of them, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of, but my favourite one also is going to be saved for next month. Yeah, most recently, I've got some of them will have actually been seen in the last episode. A few of those, like the Neon Food Market, but I've got a nice one of the mech that's on display. I've got a Sidonia one. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff on there. But I'm also making videos.
Yeah.
Breathing. I'm doing a Let's Play, which is very much just, hey, if you want to see what Starfield is like, how it plays through, here's a Let's Play. I'm just doing one, and then I'm probably going to call Let's Plays for a while and focus more on like builds and guides and the lore videos I just mentioned, and the bigger stuff which will hopefully draw people in, because I clearly need to create an almost entirely new community with Starfield.
Yeah. I think I'm dealing with the same, but also there's too many games.
There are too many games.
And people are dropping Starfield for other things now, like Lies of P and going back to Baldur's Gate 3 or
Cyberpunk
2.0 / Phantom Liberty.
Yep, Titanfall 2 just came back for some reason.
That's true too, yeah.
There are like way too many games right now.
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes, one mild annoying thing which I hate is everyone suddenly using Steam charts to like judge how good a game is, which just doesn't work. I just want to say that quickly because I've seen a lot of it recently where people are using Steam charts, and depending on how many different platforms and stuff the game is on, that can change things. Because I've seen a bit of it of like, oh man, Starfield's doing terribly. It has basically no players because the Steam charts are low. But,
oh, you mean the game that came out on Game Pass day one?
Yep. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah.
But
I may have heard of it.
I've seen a lot of people like kind of doing that take, and it's just not a great thing to have. And also people judging the quality based on like peak player count, which isn't a thing as well. Because people saying like, oh, this game's really good because a lot of people were playing it on the day that it launched, isn't necessarily true. Like,
that goes completely against the indie scene.
Yeah.
because indies are naturally smaller projects and less seen by people, doesn't make them less quality driven.
Yeah, and also, but if a game's really short, then people will drop off a lot quicker, despite how good it might be. If a game's really long and grindy but not great, plenty of people will stick with it. Like, it's just an annoying thing I've seen recently. I can't remember why I even started talking about it. Okay. But I'm making Starfield videos. Please subscribe to me, everyone. What are you up to, Caedo?
Well, that's pretty much all I am doing.
Yeah.
As you could tell by when I told you my hours on Starfield.
Yeah.
I got a lot. I've been running into... I'm really hoping that DLSS patch comes soon, and I hope it fixes a lot of the issues I'm having. Because there's some...
What? I was just going to say, this is like graphical issues and stuff like that.
Just
We're
PC
in that
performance.
realm, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have the super weird thing of I was running it on like low settings to try and get it as good as possible and get it running properly, and was having loads of issues. I'm now playing exclusively on Ultra and it runs like butter.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's not the case for my rig, unfortunately.
That's annoying.
Yeah, if I turn the scaling up at all, like above the 50% mark, like it just that's just a FPS counter that goes down as I turn it up. And any settings above medium, I can barely break like 45 FPS, 40 FPS. The highest I can get it is 60 indoors and 40 to 50 outdoors. And then if it's somewhere particularly demanding, my computer will sound like it's going to take off because my power draw on my CPU is ridiculous in both mainly in the city, but also in New Atlantis, and some planets also just don't like performing well, largely the ones that have life on them because they have more stuff going on. But I landed on one earlier while I was recording some B-roll for this, and my frame rate just dropped to 20 and just hung at 20. I was like, okay, interesting. So then I quick saved, then quick loaded, then it jumped back up to 60, and I'm like, what is happening here? So something's still weird with the game performance and my hardware in particular. And I realized that I still, if I wanted to upgrade my video card at this point, pretty much any of them that I get are going to have minimal impact, like 20-30% increase in performance, or I'm just going to have to get a new tower or rig for the 40 series to fit in, because it is a huge card and it will not fit in my machine. And that bums me out because this is still a pretty big tower. It's just a really big card.
I've got like a 4070, and to be fair, I couldn't fit like a bigger graphics card in there. So that's a thing, but yeah, you just need a bigger tower. Much bigger tower. You clearly haven't got that huge a tower, because my one's not like massive or anything, and it fits in. So I can basically imagine how big your computer tower is, because I'm guessing the 40 series is like, it doesn't fit in, but it's not like it's sticking out way. It's just like,
it's not sticking out at all. It doesn't fit by like an inch.
Yeah. Whereas mine fits with maybe an inch to spare.
Yeah.
Like,
We're talking about video cards, everybody.
Yeah. There were so many jokes, and I was just trying to work out what I can and can't say. But yeah, I'm just a couple of inches bigger, which makes all the difference, as it turns out.
In video cards. Okay. I have been obviously kind of slow going with my videos, particularly because I'm thorough, and a lot of people who upload stuff aren't. But I get penalized in the early stages for that, like views wise, because like the quantity over quality videos get seen more often, obviously, and also the you need to get this, you must have this,
Yes.
big arrow, boom, circle, blam. Like, I don't do those things really, so that also works against me a little bit. But if you are diving into outpost development in Starfield, I did a really straightforward step-by-step. I had my partner Kite actually do it while the video was playing and pause it and stuff, and they hadn't touched the game at all. They got used to the controls moving around and stuff like that, and then went right into outpost development and picked up on it just fine. So if they can figure it out, so can you in making your first simple extractor outpost with a ridiculous amount of storage solutions and weird ways to work with the interface that isn't clear otherwise.
Yeah.
That aren't clear otherwise. Grammar. So that's what I intend on doing. I'm obviously not going to do Let's Play. Those come much later if I decide to do them.
That's smart.
Because they're, you know, they don't drive my channel's traffic.
What are you talking about? My most recent episodes have over 200 views.
Yeah, that's probably where mine would start at a lower. People don't subscribe for my persona. Even though I do appreciate those who listen for this long in the PIPCAST. Those of you who listen to the PIPCAST probably do appreciate my personage, my existing as a person, not a resource. But largely, the people subscribed to my channel are for, you know, information.
Yep.
So I gotta keep making that information. Maybe the smart thing to do is to mix them together and make another freaking list video.
That's what I did.
Caedo's countdowns, the best freaking weapons that may be unusual, not unique, different word that I wanted to call them. We could rant about that some more too later.
That'll be a full topic one day.
Another full topic, because we had a Fallout 4 one. We could have. I'll have some notes. I'll write some notes and go over all the qualifiers I could find with Starfield, because there's.
I'll be happy to
so
run
many.
the numbers again. Let's see if it's worse than Fallout 76's 0.0000.
Oh, like once we know all the effects
chance.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. We could make it a whole thing.
Yep.
We're that passionate about it.
That's for the future. For now, thank you everyone who's listened to us ramble on for 2 hours straight.
Yes. Thank you so much. It'll be edited down to, I'm guessing, sub 2 hours, because I had some pretty long friggin' pauses.
I mean, I think we're going to be dead on the 2 hour mark.
Thank you all for watching and or listening. And the next PIPCAST 3000 will be in 2 weeks. Every other Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. It'll be spooky month by that time. Make sure if you're in my Discord to change your name and icon to be spooky, because that's something we like to do every year. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.